What's going on, YouTube? JCast here. Today I just want to talk about my experience in MEPS. The MEPS that I went, it was in Jacksonville. For me, it was a little bit easier because I'm prior service. Now, if you're a prior service and don't know what's going on, if you've been out for, let's say, more than a couple of years, I would tell you that you will have to do everything as you were going back, for the first time, like you were in boot camp, right? So basically, you have to do the whole 9 yards. You have to go the day prior to your appointment. You have to stay in the hotel with everybody else, with all this 18, 19-year-old kids. They'll be, if they find out that you were a prior service, stand by for all the damn questions. So you go back, you meet with your recruiter the day before. If you're not driving or if you take, they'll give you a ride. Your recruiter will give you a ride, or they'll give you a bus ticket. You go to the hotel. You will stay the night before. You will get a briefing, all the spiel about, don't drink, don't go out, you have to be in your room by 10 o'clock, all this drama about, try to get you, to be afraid of do anything. The one in Jacksonville, it was good because they had like a little lounge where they have, a bunch of TVs with games that you can play games. Actually, it was pretty nice. They had pool tables. They had food, you get your free meal and all that good stuff, like you did it the first time. I did that. I got there, I had this kid. He was joining the Army. He was asking me a bunch of questions about, the process or what is going to happen. So, it was a long night for me. We got a wake-up call at 4:45, I believe. The bus going to Jacksonville MEPS was leaving at 5:45. We got there at 6 o'clock. Yeah, we were greeted by, I believe it was somebody, military retired. Of course, they want to do all this military like we're in boot camp. So just be patient. I know if you're prior service, I know that you already know all this stuff. And but just stay humble. Just yes sir, yes ma'am, all the good things. You're gonna have people that are gonna ask you that work in MEPS. If your prior service, once they know your prior service, they're a little bit more relaxed with you, but you still give them the respect they deserve. So my recruiter set up the appointment for a Monday. Usually on Mondays they get the prior service guys and the people that are shipping out. At least this is the Jacksonville MEPS. Everything went really smooth. I went and you give your record, then you sit down. If you don't have to take, of course you don't have to take the ASVAB or this new test they give now for this kid, so I don't know the name of it. You go right away, you go do the medical. The first thing I did was I gave my packet to the guy that was there getting all the medical packets. The first thing I did was the eye test. That was easy. The color vision, the numbers on that little bubble that you had to make sure that you can read them. Then that new test they have is like you have to find out. They'll give you like 3 lines, and you have to choose which of those of the dots. It's a dot is gonna stick out more than the others. And you have to pick the right one. Give me a second, guys. I'm just here. I'm doing this while I'm at a car wash. So once I did that, I was able to do. It was a hearing test. After the eye test was the hearing test. So I did the hearing test. That was, they'll put you in a booth. You're not gonna do it by yourself. You're gonna be doing it with a couple more guys. So just try to stay quiet, because sometimes any little sounds, you're in one booth with everybody else. So after that, we have to start signing a bunch of paperwork. If you have any tattoos, you have to write them down. You're gonna have to answer a couple questions. Now those questions they need to match with your previous package. So when you go to MEPS, don't start saying, oh, my knee hurts or my back hurts, all that stuff. Just say no. If you said no the first time, just say no to everything, okay? Because if not, they're gonna send you back. So you're gonna have to clear private doctor. I'm sorry. So like I was saying, if you said something during your medical assessment, just stick to that, and you'll be fine. After that, we did the drug test. Oh no, I'm sorry. While we were doing the paperwork, once we finished the paperwork, they did the breathalyzer. So if you're not underage, you can have a drink or two the night before. I won't recommend it because that will set you back, and then you're gonna have to do another day. So just I know you can be good without a beer or a drink. So after we did the breathalyzer, they sent us to do the the drug test. We did the drug test. As soon as I finished the drug test, they did the medical labs. They took like blood. So once they took the blood, I was sitting down. I waited for, I would say, maybe like 10 minutes. After 10 minutes, I was called by the doctor. Now, granted, mine was a female doctor. So she was asking a couple of questions. She was asking how you doing, all the good stuff, right? So once they do that, since she was a female, if you're a male, yes, they're gonna check your testicle. Let's put it a nice way. They're gonna touch them. She's gonna touch them. She's gonna make you look to the left, make you cough, just to see if you have any hernias or something with your testicles. Let's put it that way. Once you do that, now when she was doing that, she called a chaperone, whatever. So another dude came in while she was touching my butt. My nuts. So after that, you turn around right away. You're gonna bend over. You're gonna spread your cheeks. You're gonna load. You're good. That was it. Now, don't be afraid about all this stuff, because that process, when they're checking your nuts and your butthole, it won't last 5 seconds. This is something that they will do real quick. It's not just to see if you have a big junk or small junk. They just want to make sure you're good to go. So don't be afraid. They're not gonna stick your finger unless you're 40-year-old and over. There was another guy who was 40. He was trying to go back to the reserves. They do the 40-year-old physical. So I do believe I'm not, and please don't quote me on this. I do believe they do put the finger on him, but you guys don't have to worry. If you're younger than 40, you'll be fine. So, and after that, you go to the back, and then they'll do the height and weight. So they did all the good stuff, the height and weight. Once they did that, the doctor's gonna come out. You're gonna be in your briefs, basically, with some other dudes there in the room. So don't, if you're a newbie, you've never done this before, just don't worry about it. I mean, come on, you're going to the military when you're gonna shower with a bunch of dudes, like pretty much next to each other. So once you do that, they're gonna start doing all this crazy exercise. So basically, the first exercise, the doctor's gonna come, right? She's gonna go and tell you, raise your arms. You're gonna do circles. You're gonna do this certain movement. They just want to make sure that your extremities and your joints are good. What else? You're gonna do a couple squats. One of the for me, because I have a bad knee. I mean, I didn't say that, but my knee was hurting. You're gonna kneel, right? You're gonna squat all the way down but you're gonna be on pretty much on the ball of your foot, and then you're gonna go all the way forward, like your knees gonna slam the deck, and the floor is tile. There's no carpet. There's nothing nice. It doesn't hurt. So you do that. It's just like when you squat all the way down. I mean, I won't demonstrate it here. I'm in the car. But when you go all the way down, then you just want to hear that boom hitting the floor. Once you do that, she will start with the first person. Goes like go, 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 go. Then what you do, you're gonna walk in your knees, 5 steps forward, 5 steps back. So it hurts a little bit, but it's not that bad. Then what you're gonna do, you're gonna go back to that squat position. I mean, you're gonna stay on your knees, and then you're gonna have to, from that knee position, you're gonna have all the way back without using the floor or pushing yourself. Then again, you're gonna go all the way down. You're gonna squat all the way down, and you're gonna do what they call the dog walk. Once you do the dog walk, you're gonna go 5 steps forward, 5 steps back, and that's pretty much it. I mean, they're gonna do some other exercise with the hand, but it should be easy. Then you're gonna stand in one leg. You're gonna move your foot, circles and stuff. They just want to, make sure that you can do it. So it's not a big deal. So after that, for me, when you're prior service, at least with the Navy, I'm doing going back to the Navy. You don't do the oath that day. What you're gonna do, you're going back with your recruiter. They're gonna find you a job, and once you do a job, you're most likely gonna be doing the, you're gonna swear up or doing the oath, and you're with your division, the CO or the captain. He's the one that's gonna do that procedure with you. So now for me, it took about, I want to say about 1.5 years with all this process. The reason why was because with the Navy, at least in the Florida area, they had one person that worked with prior service. And when they work with prior service, there's a lot of guys that want to come back. Now, if you have any disabilities, so it takes longer than a regular guy coming in. Why? Because we have to do a lot of waivers, especially if you have, with the tattoos, you have to do the waivers. If you have any medical conditions, you have to do a waiver. Once you do all that stuff and it gets approved, then you get to go and do the physical. For me, I was working with one recruiter, she was slammed with a lot of work, and no matter, you got to understand it was just one person. Sometimes you get frustrated because, every time she asked me for something, I would give it to her right away. But, she was, and then, basically close to Orlando. So for us, she had to go all the way from Orlando to Jacksonville every time she wants to send a paper. It's not just send it through email or scan. Like when I sent my paperwork, my medical record was kind of thick. So she had to drive all the way there. So it was a lot of complication. I'm not saying it's the same way on each state, but it varies. So just be patient, and if you're able to come back, just be grateful, man, because there's not a lot of opportunities out there. But you guys are ready, maybe active duty, and you're thinking to go out, thinking to go to the reserve, that's my advice to you. Just stay in the reserve. The reason why it is, if you get out and you don't want to do the reserve, it's going to be a pain in the ass trying to go back after you get out. Now, when you do 4 years, you have to do 4 years of inactive reserve. That's on every contract. You basically do 8 years. But when you doing that inactive reserve, you can go and say, you know what, I want to switch to active reserve, and it will be a quick fix. It will be a quick change. Now, when you get out, and that's what happened to me. I left, the 4 years of inactive reserve. I didn't go back. I started the last year of the process, but I didn't know it was gonna take that long. So it was very easy. So my advice to you that you're about to get out, at least stay in the reserve, because it's just 1 weekend out of the month. You get paid, especially if you're an E4, E5. You get about $300-400 for 1 weekend. And especially if you're in the Navy. It's not like we in the Marines and the Army where you do a lot of PT. Yes, you're probably gonna do PT and stuff, but it's not that hard like the other ones. Plus, a lot of people has job, and you gotta understand it's the reserve. You know what I mean? So it's like you're gonna do your weekend a month. You can do some school if you haven't done school. If you haven't used your GI Bill, I really recommend that once you get out, use your GI Bill. Remember, we don't know if the government is gonna take that benefit away or it's gonna cut it in half. I was fortunate enough to use it. I did my bachelor's, I did my master, and only for the master it didn't cover the last 3 classes. So I took like a $7,000 loan, but compared to people that take $50,000-$60,000 loans, that's great. Plus, when I was going to class, I was getting paid. I was going on campus, and I went to Phoenix University, it was only 1 day a week for 4 hours and is considered full-time student, and I was getting $2,000 for every class. I mean, you can't beat that, right? So if you have let's say if you have a part-time, or you haven't had the chance to get a job, that money can help you survive, for that transition. So that's my advice. So once again, if you interested on going to the reserve and you active duty, just stay in the reserve. If you want to come back and you're prior service, it's gonna take a while. So don't get desperate. Remember, the regular reserve recruiters cannot help you. They only have 1 or 2 recruiters to help prior service. Plus, for them, it's not a priority because they don't. You know how they have quotas and stuff like that. Pretty much we're half. If they can get one guy to active duty, we're considered half. So I don't know if I explaining myself right, but it's pretty much like, yeah, if we can get you, we'll get you, but it's not a priority for them. So once again, it was a pretty smooth process, at least in the Jacksonville MEPS. The Jacksonville MEPS people, pretty nice. They're not a-holes like some other MEPS that you go and they trying to do all this gung-ho, hua thing. So, if you have any questions, just comment on the bottom, like the video, subscribe to my channel if you want. I do reviews on a lot of stuff. I do a lot of reviews on, most of them watches, but I wanted to do a review on my experience with MEPS and all this stuff for prior service people. So if you have more questions, just shoot me a question on the comment section, like the video, and subscribe, and I will try to answer the questions best of my ability. It is November 18, 2016. So this is basically a new video. I know there's a lot of videos of MEPS experience here on YouTube, but a lot of them are 2-3 years old. So just give me a holler if you have a question.